how we roll, right?
Let's do
Let
this.
me make sure I look cute. Jim, don't do anything funny in the background. I won't. All right, let's roll it. Let's do it.
All right. I think we're getting close to live here. I think it's working.
It says broadcasting.
Looks like it's broadcasting.
What it says up in the top corner. I don't know if that means we're live or not.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. I always like to jump in and see if it's going live. Sometimes, yeah, there we go. It looks like it's live. Sometimes the first minute's a little shaky while we decide whether we're live or not. But I believe we are live.
Your eyes look so beautiful and blue. I like
You
this
like
program.
that? Yeah.
It's
know.
like
That's-
it's
I
like
know,
the ocean.
it is pretty cute, Mike.
I know. It's
Yeah.
it's like the Northern European thing I was going for. You know.
I just want I want to capture your eye color in a jar and carry it with me everywhere.
So so Alex wants to share this with some of his realtors and some of his LOs. So he agreed to only drop the F-bomb once every 10 words, I believe, was the rule. So if you're sitting at your desks watching, get out a tick sheet. We got to kind of keep track of what Alex is doing. He promised not to drop too many F-bombs. Today, our goal is to help you be better at convincing agents to work with you and convincing borrowers to work with you and perhaps having a little bit of fun on a Friday afternoon. Definitely want to respect Alex and Andrew for taking time out of their day and their production and everything else they got going on to help us and to share some of their skills with us and again help us all be better. So the only thing we would ask, and this is me, these guys already told me this is not necessary, but for me I think it's important. You know, if you guys are learning stuff from Alex and Andrew, their time is valuable, and what they're doing here is free. You know, if you guys have a transaction in Tennessee, you need somebody to help you, hit up Alex. You know, if you got something in Florida, especially North Florida, you need some help, hit up Andrew. You know, these guys are very generous. They give back as much as they can. If we find an opportunity to help them with their business or help them grow, let's help them as well. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I asked people to kind of rate some questions and add some questions for you. I guess I'll just play the role of real estate agent. I'm not sure if I should go to Alex or Andrew first, but I'm going to start out with Alex. So, Alex, you just called me, and you were following up on a borrower, or perhaps it was even an open house. We started talking. You asked for the business, and my response to you was, Alex, you're a great loan officer. I see what you're doing for veterans. I kind of like how you did that last couple loans you worked on. I got to be honest, man. All my loans, they kind of have to go to our in-house lender. My broker's all over me, and it's just kind of what I have to do. I don't have an option.
Awesome. Hey, that's no problem, Fish. I completely get it. I know that you have some type of loyalty to your in-house lender, and I would never ask you to take business away from that person in order to give it to me. But what I would ask is that if we can build business together, and if I can provide you some solutions to some deals that may not have been deals prior, that you at least try to send them to me. Like I said, you wouldn't have those deals anyways. So if I'm giving you tactics that allows your business to grow, all that I ask is that you consider me when you go ahead and look at the lender that you're going to use for that particular program. That's it. Wouldn't you agree, Fish?
Well, I would say that makes sense, Alex, but is there a way you can help me get these people pre-approved before we talk about them? Because I'm really busy trying to close these 7 or 8 deals a year that we close here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is you'll know when you go out with a client that we have pre-qualified that it's a person that can actually buy. And that's why I'll save you a ton of time. The fact of the matter is your in-house lender, you may or may not be able to get in touch with them on the weekend. And as a professional, you want to make sure that you can get in touch with the lender to answer any questions that your potential client would have. So absolutely, we take a look. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and send you the link to my online app. Anybody that you have that's coming through, go ahead and share that with them. Fire me over a text message saying, hey, sending you over XYZ client. I'll get them pre-approved. We'll get a pre-approval letter out to you, and then you'll be able to shop with that person. Does that sound great?
That sounds great, Alex. Thanks, bud.
Yes, sir.
We'll give you a little up. I'm not going to be too mean to start with. All right,
I don't care
Andrew.
if you're mean or not. I'll beat you down.
All right, Andrew. This is the one everybody wanted to get to, so we'll just go right into the second round. So I'm the agent. I see you walking my open house. Hey, thanks for coming to the open house, Andrew. Nice to meet you. I do have a lender. I mean, he's kind of in the other room. I'm set. I appreciate the water, and thanks for coming by, man. Bye, man.
Hey, absolutely. And the reality is I don't want to disrespect the relationship you have with your lenders. I completely get that the relationship goes a mile deep. And frankly, if you were willing to break that relationship, on a whim, then, what loyalty would there be built between you and I? But hey, I just want to leave you my card, and here's what I want to provide you is whether it's my transaction or not, whether this is a situation where another lender is messed up or whether it's the lender in the other room or anyone, I want you to have my cell phone number, which is on my card, and I keep my cell phone on 24/7. So next Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m., when you have a file going sideways, whether it's my deal or not, you can pick your phone up, shoot me a text message or a phone call, and I'm going to be there to answer any questions you have in a file, whether it's mine or not, doesn't matter to me. I just want to be a valued resource to you in some way or another.
Dig it, man. I dig it. That sounds good. Where's your card? Thanks, bud. Hey, what do you guys got a little bit of like an echo? I'm not sure if it's Alex or.
It's because Alex doesn't have headphones on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can put headphones on. Here, hold up. I got you. Headphone me up, bro.
You had some headphones?
Get that assistant in order.
About to rock your motherfucking world.
All right.
Ah!
Oh, there's one down.
Cool, dude. Let's see if that works. That actually, I think that's what the source was.
It's not even plugged in yet.
Well,
Is that better?
that's better.
Look at that. Like a pro. Come on.
Cool. All right, Alex. My realtor told me to call you. You called me. I'm a veteran. I already work with USAA. We're in pretty good shape. I don't need anything. Thanks for calling me though. I appreciate it.
Do me a favor. Repeat that one more time because I had to shut off the volume on the sound bar and somebody likes to call me.
Yeah, Alex. I mean, I know my agent told me to call you, and thank you for calling me. I told my agent, and like I'm going to tell you, I'm a veteran and I'm already set. USA is taking care of me, and they take care of a lot of veterans. I've got all my accounts there, and I don't really, I don't think we need to do anything here today. But thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem, Fish. Here's the biggest thing that I want you to consider when you talk about USAA. USA indeed is a great company. I cannot argue with that. They're awesome at insurance. They're awesome at checking and savings, but are they awesome at mortgages? And that's what I would ask you, because here's the thing. I specialize in VA training, which means that I've taken extensive courses and extensive hours to ensure that I'm giving my veterans the best possible service that they can get and overcoming any issues that they may have. Your USAA representative, do you talk to the same person every time you pick up the phone and give them a buzz?
Well, yeah, I mean, you usually got to call them 9 to 5, but they usually answer. They're there.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Does your family's concerns come up between the hours of 9 and 5, or does it come up usually when you're sitting at dinner and your wife says, hey, Fish, by the way, what about this when it comes to the mortgage? Or how about on the weekends when you're trailing the kids around and you're saying, hey, let's go look at this house, let's figure out this payment, let's do this, let's do that. Can you get in touch with USAA then?
Well, I think so. Maybe I got the guy's cell. I don't remember. I'm not. I don't remember what his name was actually. I'm not sure. I'll have to go look at that. But yeah, it's a good point.
And here's the thing, Michael. At the end of the day, this is all about relationships. I need to understand exactly what it is that you're looking to do to make sure that I put you in the proper program to fit your needs and your family's needs, correct?
Yeah, that makes sense, Alex. But like I said, those guys, they already got my accounts, and I'm pretty sure they're going to give me a good deal. I mean, I'm a veteran, so
and let them
give us good deals on insurance.
Right, and let them continue to do that. They do great at insurance. Once again, I wouldn't deny that. The thing is that a lot of veterans get mistake things for is the fact that they think that USAA is a military bank. It's not a military bank. You owe it to your family to make sure that you get the best possible service and the best possible deal for the biggest purchase that you ever make in your life, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we want to do a good job, and the agent says that you're a good guy, but I mean, I still don't really see how it's going to be that much different. I mean, those guys can get through a mortgage. It's pretty easy. I got a good job, and I'm entitled,
Right. And a lot of local people won't accept an offer from a bank that they know is not local. So that being said, by me being local, not only am I going to submit a cover letter when your offer gets submitted, but the person is more than likely going to know or have heard of my company because of the type of veteran work that we do, which means that the seller is going to have more consideration when it comes to that, as opposed to a place that specializes in insurance and deposits and withdrawals and checking accounts. So wouldn't you agree it's more of a benefit to work with a local person that understands your needs, is available for you and your family when you need somebody there, than it is to have your loyalties with somebody who's great at insurance?
Well, I guess that makes sense, but if the numbers make sense, I mean, can
Right.
you beat their rate? Can you give me a better deal than those guys?
Here's what we'll do, Fisher. We'll go ahead and sit down. We'll compare apples to apples, make sure that everything that's supposed to be there is there. We'll make sure we find you the home, and then we'll talk about the service that I can provide, the value that will come with it, and then the rates and obviously the payments as well. Sound great?
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, it sounds like you're kind of trying to close me on me getting a meeting. Like I said, I'm already kind of happy
Not
with
at all.
USAA.
Yeah. No, and that's where I think you're mistaken, Fish. I'm not trying to close you for for any type of meeting or anything. What I want to do is make sure that you and your family are best taken care of. If you decide to go to USAA, which is absolutely, you're right, and if you feel that's the best decision, I would encourage you to do so. But what I would recommend is if you do make that decision, to at least send me over the paperwork so I can look it over to make sure you're getting the best possible deal. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that the veteran's taken care of. I have enough business coming in my door to where I can take care of business here and make sure my family's fed. But I want to make sure you're taken care of as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I just met you though. I don't know why I would send paperwork over to you. I mean, I don't even know if I have any paperwork from those guys yet.
Right. And you just met the person from USAA, correct? The fact of the matter is you don't have a long-term lasting relationship with the mortgage person. If you do, you wouldn't be talking to me, you'd be talking to them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
So we just got to meet at some point. When you move to Tennessee, you're just going to meet your doctor, correct?
Yeah, I hear you, Alex. So
Right.
I don't know.
And you're going to trust your doctor that he knows what he's doing. He's going to take care of you. So yes, we just met, but once again, I want to make this a long-lasting relationship. I've met a lot of your fellow veterans over the years and have taken care of every single one of them.
I mean, that guy at USAA said he wanted to be my lender for life. I don't really know what that means, but
Really? Can you look up his NMLS ID number and see what he was doing flipping burgers 2 years ago? Because let's face it, Fisher, nobody in the mortgage industry that is a specialist at their trade stays in a place that pays as little as they do with as much headache as they have for as long as they are. That makes sense?
yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, somebody told me the call center people don't always. I just thought, being USAA, they'd have special training and those guys would really know how to handle the veterans. I mean, they act like they do.
Right. And that's fine. They can act like that. If I had a fancy name like USAA, which once again, don't get me wrong, they're great at insurance. They're great at deposits and withdrawals. I have my bank account with them. They're a great company. But when it comes down to it, just like if you were having brain surgery, would you go to your general practitioner or would you go to a brain specialist or whatever they call them these days to work on your brain? You'd go to a specialist, right?
Yeah, well, it sounds like you know what you're doing. I don't know. What do we do next, Alex?
I can do it all in my sleep, baby. Come on.
All right, good job, dude. All right, let's pick up Andrew. Alex, you be the realtor this time, and give Andrew some kind of objection over the adding him as a third card lender. You're gonna add him to the rotation or something
Yeah.
kind of like that.
So, Andrew, as you know, it's part of my requirements through TAR to go ahead and give all my prospective clients at least 3 business cards. I'll add you to the stack, but I can't guarantee you any business because I've been working with Fisher for a very long time, and I highly recommend him every time. But, I'm required to give him 3 cards.
Right, and I get, and I hear that a lot, but this asks you a quick question.
Mhm.
If I could potentially be the next best thing since sliced bread, in the mortgage industry, I am going to be, and in many people's opinion, already am one of the best lenders that's out there. What opportunity can I get from you to just put me on the stage and give me one shot? I'm not looking to be handed out as a 3-card option, because reality is what that does is it really limits your options, because what you end up doing is you end up pitting your trusted referral partners against each other, and the reality is you end up potentially putting your buyer into a situation where they're going to have the wool pulled over their eyes by one person or the other. And so what I'm asking for is a one-shot deal.
Okay. If you bring me a deal,
Just give me one shot to hand
yep,
the single lead.
yeah, not a problem.
Breaking up.
You bring me a deal, and we'll go ahead and we'll do a deal together.
I'm not a lead generating mortgage lender. My best thing that I can offer you, I don't provide leads. What I can provide you is I can provide your paycheck in your pocket faster than any other lender in the city can do. There's no one out there that can guarantee you a contract to close in under 20 days, but I'm going to guarantee it to you. And I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to even go to the next step and say, I'm going to actually provide your buyer a $250 credit per day over 21 days. That if we go to 23, 24 days, it's $250 a day towards their closing costs. I'm going to guarantee it, and I'll put it in writing to you. I'm so confident in the service level I provide. I not only, if you're going to hand 3 business cards out, I want to get myself to the place. I want to earn the position to be the first business card. And I want you to hand out 3. And if you truly believe that you need to hand out 3, which you actually don't, and I could explain that to you, but the reality is, if you feel like you need to hand out 3, I want you to get to the position with me that you hand out this 3 cards. Here's 3. Like, I feel like I have to give you options, but if you really want to be handled correctly and you want service like it should be, and you want respect, you want your close on, I'd recommend you call Andrew.
Okay. I mean, the 250 a day, that sounds like a great challenge. I'd love to see it in action. My guy Richard Drummer, he sends me deals all the time, but I would love to see you do something like that. As a matter of fact, I got a client that has been difficult as all get out. If you can close that person in 21 days, I'll send you another one right behind it.
I don't have any issue with 21 days. I will throw one stipulation out there, and that is that I can't deal with a property that has repair or appraisal issues. If we have appraisal issues or repair issues, timelines gotta go on hold, and you should respect that, correct? Because that's something that's outside of both of our hands.
I've been doing this for 32 years. Trust me, I know when stuff like that pops up.
Well, I've been doing this for 32 months, and in 32 months, I've made a name for myself that I have over 125 5-star reviews. And I know I'm going to sound pompous here, and I'm tooting my own horn, but that type of response from clients, willing to go out on a limb, and we're in similar industries. You know how hard it is to get that 5-star review. But to get in 2.5 years, 125 5-star reviews, something's got to be going right. I mean, can you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Let's give her a whirl.
Good job, man.
Now, Fish, I want to do the same objection. I love the way Andrew handled it, but I want to go a different direction with it, if possible. So,
all right, Andrew, you want to play the agent this time?
Oh, absolutely. That'd be a male or female agent. This could be really fun.
Be a gay agent.
No, I'm not doing that a lot.
Be a millennial agent.
There you go. Be a millennial agent.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no. We're going to get in all kinds of trouble.
Okay. Thanks for coming by the open house, dude. I've got my lenders taken care of, but tell you what, you seem like a cool guy. Give me business cards, and I hand out 3 cards to every single client because that's what I'm required to do, and I'll add your card to the stack, and we'll put you in the rotation.
Cool. Andrew, I appreciate that, man. Let me ask you this. What makes you hand out 3 business cards, just out of curiosity?
Well, that's what my broker says I have to do. I can't steer any of my clients towards a particular lender. I actually have to hand them 3 options. Otherwise, it would go into steering.
Okay, fair enough. And that's a great assumption. That actually isn't 100% true. It is something maybe your broker preaches, and that's fine. Well, let me tell you, here's the deal. You work with top professionals in the industry, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have anybody on my list that's not a professional.
Right. So that being said, when you hand somebody 3 business cards, you say to that client, I work with top professionals, but I don't know which one's going to suit your needs the best. So by handing them those 3 business cards, you're casting doubt immediately in your ability to lead them in the correct direction to work with the right person. Now, when I say lead them, I don't mean lead them as in steering them that direction. But if I know the best mechanic on a BMW in town and you come to me and say, who's the best mechanic in town, I'm going to lead you to one person. And that one person is going to be able to get the job done flawlessly. So that being said, giving somebody 3 business cards is going to cast doubt not only about your professionalism, but it's also going to put your lenders against each other. making them battle for the person that's going to reach for the lowest crumb and not the person that's going to provide the best value. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I would absolutely agree, and I think that sorry, I'm turning into the lender there. Like, dang it. Well, maybe yeah. I mean, I can see what you're saying. But isn't there laws that require me to provide options?
Absolutely not. So that is something that was assumed a long time ago because brokers typically cast that out. They say, hey, you have to hand out 3 business cards because that's the law and that's the way things are done. That's not actually a law. You're able to suggest a person to them. You cannot tell them they have to use this person. They have the option to use whoever they want. And if they request more people, provide them with more information. But what you can simply say is, hey, this is a person I've used quite frequently. They close on time. We have no hang-ups when we've dealt with this person. You're free to choose who it is you want to choose, but this is a person I typically use. And by doing that, you're not leveraging or telling that person that you have to use somebody. You're simply giving them an option as a real estate professional and as one of the top professionals. You're giving them an option to work with somebody that's going to satisfy their need and take care of them the best way possible. So you and I can both agree you're not breaking the law for one, but for two, you're doing what's best by your client, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I totally I get what you're saying. And if I just give you off as the only referral to this buyer, and you mess up, I don't understand. You can say, hey, I gave you some options and you happen to choose Alex to work out. But if I put all my trust in you and you don't follow through, well, it's gonna be really bad on my head.
You're absolutely right. And I would agree with you 110%. Here's the deal, Andrew. I've done this for 14 years. I have 0 regulatory actions against me. I'm a branch manager along with a state manager for a mortgage company here. Let me tell you something. Johnny Fowler's done some messed up stuff, but he's never let a person run his branches into the ground. So one thing I can assure you of is that as long as your client is upfront and up forth with everything that we're working with here, we're going to have a very, very smooth transaction. What that means is if they've had foreclosures, bankruptcies, anything that's detrimental to their approval, we have to know those things up front. Now, granted, we do our research that we can, but I can't ever guarantee something that a client may be hiding. But we go in this with the best faith possible that they're being as forthcoming as possible. So as long as that's what happens, I can assure you that we're going to do everything that we can to deliver not only on time, but early as well. How's that sound? Did we lose Andrew?
I think we lost him. Well, he'll probably there he is. All right, let's move on.
I've got really bad service. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm gonna snag Alex for one here that I know he's good at because we just did this just a couple days ago in Detroit. So Alex, I'm gonna play the agent here. You have called me to assure me that the veteran that's placing an offer is qualified, and I'm kind of following up with, well, Alex, thanks for sending that letter. Thanks for calling me. We could probably accept this veteran's offer, but we're going to wait a couple more days just to see if a conventional offer comes in, just in case, because, we know that that's going to be a better deal for my sellers. I have a fiduciary duty to them. So,
Okay. Fair enough, Fish. Let me ask you this. Are you a patriot? Would you consider yourself a proud American?
Well, yeah. I mean, my dad served, and I donate money to veterans charities, and yeah, absolutely, yeah. I got a full trunk full of guns,
So, trunk full of guns, you donate money, you do all this stuff. Your dad was a veteran himself. So wouldn't you agree that considering an offer is something that we should not only put on top of our list, but deeply consider? The fact that this person has served in order to guarantee us the freedoms that we have to make the decision to wait for a conventional offer should be enough for you to accept that offer. The person's qualified, like we discussed. A VA loan is not inferior to any other sort of loan. Actually, it's more powerful than any other type of loan. The reason being is there's less lender overlays. The VA guarantees that in the case of default, that the VA will kick in and go ahead and pay for that to make the lender whole again, so to speak. And the person, let's face it, they've signed a contract with no price of what they're serving for in order to guarantee you and I the freedom. Don't you agree that it's our patriotic duty to allow this person to get into the dream home that they served and fought for?
Well, I do, Alex, and I absolutely, like I said, we'll take their offer all day long. But I'm pretty sure my seller might have to pay some fees, and there's extra
What fees are those?
inspections, and
No,
if
no,
the
no.
property doesn't appraise, they can't pay more than appraised value. And there's a bunch of reasons that it's not in my seller's best interest.
Right. Well, and Fisher, I think you read the 26-7 backwards. In actuality, when it comes to appraisals, there's a couple different opportunities to make that appraisal come in at what it's supposed to. Okay. As far as the inspections are concerned, there's no required inspections except for a termite one. VA is not going to come out and inspect the property. And when it boils down to it, a lot of the things that they look for are similar in all the programs across the board. Now, is there issues with this home that you're concerned about that won't pass inspection?
No, I mean, it was built in 2010. It's probably fine, but I mean, I've just heard, handrails and cement and,
I
and
know.
all that kind of stuff, and maybe the shrubs need to be trimmed, and it's just a pain for the sellers. They don't like it.
Right, and I get that. But the thing is this is the best possible thing for the sellers as well. Once again, with less overlays and serving somebody that has served, this is going to provide them with an opportunity to not only close on time, but put a person in the house that deserves to be in that particular home. As far as the shrubs and stuff like that, yeah, if they're out of control, they need to be trimmed back. If they provide some type of hazard, let's say a missing handrail or something like that, it needs to be put in place. But that's something that's universal and across the board for the most part. So by accepting an offer that may be conventional, you may run into issues that you don't predict in the future. Now, that being said, with this veteran, we've looked over all his paperwork. We've verified what it is that we can verify on the front end, and we've got a qualified buyer here. The fact of the matter is there's less of a chance of it getting denied somewhere down the road because of an issue that we haven't seen, because the VA does guarantee this loan, which means there's going to be less overlays, less verifications, and less of a chance of something going sideways further
Well,
down the road.
my in-house guy we talked about before. I mean, he tells me to write 45 to 60-day contracts for VA, and I always write 30-day contracts for almost all my deals, especially my conventional deals. And so that's why we thought if we waited a couple more days, we'd still close just as fast. What I just
Right.
we might as well just wait through the weekend and not roll the dice and see if we can get a better deal for the sellers. I mean, that's my job.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, your house pitch probably isn't as good as what he's doing as I am. But the fact of the matter is, there's no reason to write a 30 or 45 day. It's not going to take that long. These things get closed in about 21 to 24 days, day in and day out. Because your guy doesn't understand the guidelines, that's not on me. This is what I specialize in. My heart's in serving the veteran, which means in turn that we're going to make sure they get the best deal, but we're also going to make this as seamless as possible. I know you've seen my reviews on Facebook. I know you've seen them everywhere. The fact of the matter is I know what I'm doing when it comes to veteran loans. And I can assure you, Fish, that as long as there's nothing crazy that we're not seeing here on the surface as it has to do with your property or anything crazy like a bankruptcy or something, which could catch anyone off guard in any program, but anything that's not foreseen, I can assure you that this will close on time, and it'll be one of the smoothest processes you ever deal with. And as far as your house guy, let him work on your conventional deals. I like serving people that have served our country. I don't know what your house guy likes to do.
I like it. All right, good stuff, bud. Good stuff.
You
All
like
right,
where I
Andrew,
slid in house, bitch?
yeah, that was fantastic. Is your sound back, buddy, or is it still kind of?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah, a lot better.
I got it. All right, Alex.
Perfect. Okay.
You pick an objection. You pick this one, man. Throw something at Andrew. So pull something out of your repertoire.
Let me pull it out real deep. Is
How
he
about,
supposed to be the lender?
He's the lender. Maybe you go with like I've never heard of Nation, like your company.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I'm approved with Quicken or some crap like that. I don't know.
Right. No, so, I mean, here's the deal, Andrew. First of all, I've never heard of your company, okay? I've heard of you in passing, and that's fine and dandy and all, but my people want to go with a company that they've heard of. That's why they're working with Wells Fargo. So unless you can give me a reason why you'd be better than they are, now keep in mind, Wells Fargo provides all these crazy guarantees and everything else, but I've just had a relationship with them for so long. Bill over at the bank, I walk in, he knows my name, he knows what's going on, he cashes my checks, and we get paid on time. So what can you provide that's different?
Oh man, I mean, where do I even begin with that question? The reality is, what do I provide that's different? Well, I guess I'll start with this. You're not hiring Nations Lending to do your mortgage. You're hiring Andrew Cady to do your mortgage. The reality is yes, we are all only as good as our back end is, and just being straightforward with you, we have my back end's awesome. just being straightforward with you, we have one of the most solid operations of any lender that's out there. We can take, I personally have taken multiple contracts from contract to close in less than 12 days. Tell me if Wells Fargo could do that. You think that they could pull off a 12-day closing if they needed to?
I mean, Bill over there, he's got some exceptions. I don't know about 12 days, but I don't write contracts that short anyway, so 12 days doesn't make a difference to me.
Okay, and that's granted. But let's talk long term. Let's talk relationship building, because the reality is Wells Fargo is going to sell that mortgage off within the first 60 days. And the reality is statistics prove that your buyer who you trusted to recommend to Wells is going to be sold off to a different mortgage servicing company every 9 months over the course of the life of their loan. And for me, that's one of the most ridiculous things I see here at No Nations Lending. But here at Nations Lending, we use a sub-servicer, which means I'm your lender for life. If 8 years from now you have a payment issue, you can pick your cell phone up and call me, and I contact our servicing department. We still retain that loan in-house. That's just one of the many benefits. But besides that, the reality is I am not the low-cost leader. I am not shopping at Dollar General for your steaks. The reality is I'm not telling you it's time to go to Ruth Chris and go buy steaks for dinner. But I'm also not telling you that you should go to Dollar General to buy steaks for dinner. There's a happy medium where you go to a Publix or you go to a Whole Foods and you get something that's a worthwhile price. And I'm not the low price leader, and I will never tout myself as the low price leader, because there's value brought in the service that I can bring to the table, and I can guarantee you unequivocally the smoothest, easiest transaction of your client's life ever. I don't aim to just close transactions. I aim to make raving fans of your buyers for me and for you, because if you recommend them to me and I turn them into a raving fan, I'm not talking about 1 5-star review. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 5-star reviews from a single buyer. That's the type of raving fans that you and I can team together and create, and ultimately garner ourselves a significant amount more business than just having mediocre, piss-poor transactions.
Yeah, but Bill buys me stuff. You know,
Bill buys you stuff.
He takes me out to steak dinners, and I mean, Bill does all that. You know, we go to the bar, he buys my beers, he takes me and my team out, he pays for some of my. I mean, are you willing to pay for Zillow? Because that's what Bill does.
I'm absolutely willing to pay for Zillow. Paying for Zillow is a very, very easy decision for me. Here's how I work my Zillow. If you are interested in co-branding with me, I want to at least have done one transaction together. If you and I have done one transaction together, I see how you work, you see how I work. We now know we're a compatible team. What I'd like to do is I'd like to put together a co-branding package if that's what you're interested in. But we're going to review this every 90 days and make sure it's profitable for both of us, because I'm not just giving free money away. This is something that if we're going to go into this together, we're going to chase leads and we're going to work this and we're going to grow our businesses. It has to be mutually beneficial for both of us. Otherwise, I can take those same advertising dollars and work with realtors that are absolutely turning me dollar after dollar after dollar of ad spend 5, 6, 7 times over into commission. So I'm more than willing to do it, but there's a lot of work that we got to work together to get that right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm down with that. The biggest thing is, if you'll take care of my Zillow, I'll be sure to hand out your and Bill's cards every time I get somebody that comes to me.
Totally 100% unacceptable. Just being straightforward.
What do you mean?
With you. I'm probably in the industry the most straight shooter guy you'll ever meet, and I would absolutely never take a deal like that. I'm not in business to be handed out with 2, 3, 4 other business cards. The reality is, if there's not a relationship between you and I, Alex, how could you ever trust it to be a relationship between my clients and I? And if our relationship is only so shallow that you feel like you have to hand out multiple business cards and refer your buyers out to multiple people, and that's how shallow our relationship is, then that's probably the relationship you should expect from Bill and his clients and me and my clients. I'm going to stand up right now and just say that's unacceptable to me. I want one relationship with you and one relationship with your client.
All right, so if I send you one deal, then we're on board with Zillow, right?
Yeah, because here's how I look at it. Let's think this way. You know, Carrie Underwood.
She got pushed down the stairs.
This girl back before she showed up on. Huh? What'd you say?
Michael Fisher pushed her down the stairs, messed her face up. I heard. That's what my assistant thinks.
So you look at someone like a Carrie Underwood. This girl was a closet singer. This girl, no one knew her name until this gentleman named Simon Cowell, who we all love to hate, He gave her something called an opportunity, and he put her on a stage and let her perform. She had never performed for him before. He didn't know if she was going to be good or bad, but he gave her the opportunity. And that's what I'm standing before you today asking for, is give me one opportunity. Give me a shot, and if I prove myself to be the rock star that I know I already am and my clients already know I am, give me the golden ticket and give me a second shot. And I can guarantee you, if you give me one shot, it'll turn into 2, it'll turn into 10, because I don't undervalue the relationship that you and I can build, and ultimately the monopoly of business that you and I can build together. We could conquer the world together.
I mean, I'm okay
We call
with
that
that.
the 8 Mile close in Metro Detroit. Just
Right.
give me one shot.
But here's the deal. I'll do that, but you can't tell Bill about it because I still want my bears. Deal?
I'll tell you what we'll do. You send Bill any mobile home and any transaction under $100,000, and let him buy you koozies. You and I'll do a bunch of business together. We'll get a bunch of 5-star reviews together, and you and I will end up conquering Jacksonville. Let's do this.
I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, Alex, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm going to ask McMakin to come over, and he's going to play the Detroit engineer veteran who's putting 20% down, who's pretty sure he's already got his deal set up. He's ready to rock and roll. And wait, actually, let's flip-flop that. You're that veteran. You're that engineer. You're the 20% down guy.
I want him to be the engineer. I want to fucking rip the sides off.
Okay, well, you guys figure it out then. You guys figure out what
He wants the second shot. He wants a shot.
No. Come on.
Because I got him. All right, Alex. Because I was thinking the same thing, baby. All right. So who's going first? I'm the engineer, right? I'm the Air Force engineer,
Come on,
aviation engineer here in
Yeah.
Metro Detroit, and there is I work for Coletta Airlines, which is a private airline lender, and they hire a fuck ton of military people. So that's the case here.
Okay.
And then my realtor referred you because I'm going through USAA.
Okay. So, Jay, I know that you're working with USAA. Michael Fisher asked me to give you a buzz. Just kind of look over some numbers with you and go over and make sure you're getting the best possible deal. Do you have some time right now where we can discuss that?
Sure, Alex.
Awesome. So, kind of give me a rundown of what USAA is promising you, and then we'll go ahead and take a look and kind of see what I can do for you.
Well, it's not a promise. I actually have figures in front of my face. I already have an LE where I've actually gone through the math myself, and I've compared against Wells Fargo and Chase and Veterans United Home Loans and USAA amongst, I've done my Pew chart and everything and laid it all out, and they're mathematically superior. So.
Awesome. Now, you haven't gone through that with me, so what I want to do is go ahead and break those numbers down. Here's the biggest thing, Jay, and you and I can both agree on this. USAA is a great company, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I'm sure they take care of your insurance, probably your bank accounts too, correct?
Yes, everything I have, and I've had a mortgage with them once before in the past when I was on active duty.
Good. So they took good care of you, and I'm glad that they did that. Let me ask you this, Jay. What did you do in the military? You were a seaman, correct, or were you a Air Force?
No, I'm in the Air Force, or was in the Air Force.
my
Excuse
bad.
me, and
That's fine.
aviation engineer.
Aviation engineer. Okay, so you dealt with a lot of high level stuff, correct?
That's right.
All right.
Yep.
So if they told you, hey, Jay, you're an aviation engineer, but we're going to give you this M16, you're going to run out, and your new job is going to be infantry. Would that be a little confusing to you?
In the beginning, yeah, until I learned everything about the M16. I read the manual back and forth 3 times until I could take it apart, bring it back down,
Okay.
build it back together.
And let's face it, a man of your intelligence could probably do so. But what I'm getting at
Well, that's
here
why I
is
always have to have the facts.
Right. And what I'm getting at here is you basically have a person that handles an M16 and then turns around and they work on the aviation side of it. And then they go back to the M16. Then they run out and they check for mines. Then they come back and they handle the aviation side. Do you think that person's going to efficiently do their job the same time every time that they do it?
Probably not. Probably more like a jack of all trades, master of none.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing. The jack of all trades doesn't get it done right. And so if you're saving a couple bucks by going with them, how do you know that this is going to be a smooth, seamless process? Would you trust a person that did all that to work on an airplane that you and your family would jump on and fly across the United States in?
No, I wouldn't.
Then why would you trust a person like that to put you and your family into a home and expect them to not only close on time, but to do so with integrity and deliver a product that's not going to leave you and your family homeless?
Well, because I look at it this way, Alex, and I appreciate where you're going with the, you know, building a relationship with them, but I don't really need a relationship with them. I'm an immaculate borrower. I mean, I got an
I'm not.
814 credit score. I can take my loan
Right.
anywhere I want. So for me,
You
it's
can.
just about having the lowest rate and the lowest fees. I really
Right.
don't care about a relationship with a mortgage guy, to be honest with you.
I don't either, because here's the thing. I wouldn't want a relationship with myself either because of the fact that you have a totally different direction of things that you enjoy and things you like to do. So I'm not asking for a relationship. What I'm asking is for you to put your trust in me to take you and your family from the starting line to the finish line without hiccups in between. Once again, we go back to that airplane. Would you board a plane if you knew the mechanic was not a specialist in working on aircrafts? Would you
No,
take your family and put them in those seats and say, let's fly
no,
across the
but
country?
I had a good experience with USA before. It was a piece of cake.
Understandable.
Well, I can't say that I actually, it closed on time and,
Right.
you know, the
Any
fees
surprises?
were what they said, but it was a little hard getting a hold of them when I needed to get a
Right.
hold of them.
Right. And here's the thing, Jay. When you're out there with your family and you see your dream home, but you wonder if you can afford it, your wife loves it, the kids love the pool or whatever in the backyard,
I'll
and
watch
you
the
want to
doctor,
know,
man.
your wife, that's awesome, dude.
Right.
Once again, we fall into specialists. What kind of doctor is she?
She's an anesthesiologist.
Okay. So she puts people to sleep, right?
Yes.
Does she do brain surgery?
Nope.
But all doctors can do brain surgery, can't they?
No. No.
So we fall back into the specialists. You see what I'm getting at here, Jay?
I do.
This is what I specialize in. I've spent extra time to make sure that when it comes to serving my veterans, that I do the best possible job out there.
I
Which
guess
means
my
I've
question
tuned
for
my
you,
craft.
Alex, is, and I appreciate you being a specialist,
Mhm.
but if I'm a vanilla borrower and I
Yeah,
can use any lender I want, I mean, I have them
right.
competing over me with my credit profile and
hmm
my income profile. What is the benefit of me using you just because you're a specialist versus someone? I mean, at this point, you know, a mortgage is a mortgage is a mortgage to me because I'm going to get approved wherever I go.
Right. You will get approved wherever you go, but the fact of the matter is you're not going to have the same mortgage process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save you time by knowing what we need up front, identifying the items that we need to make sure that we get to a timely closing. I'm not going to waste your time because your time is money. You're an engineer, your wife's a doctor, so we can both agree that your time is extremely valuable. But beyond that, as far as rates and fees and everything else, we don't charge our veterans a processing and underwriting fee, which in turn means for
You
you
don't?
that the only correct, which in
Okay.
turn means for you that all the fees are third party fees, which means you choose the title company. You don't get to choose what Uncle Sam wants. Let's face it, Uncle Sam wants to stick his hand in your pocket whether you like it or not. It's going to be the same no matter who you use. Okay. So beyond that, what other fees are we talking about? Because we all fish from the same pond when it comes to rates. I can provide you a lower rate than USAA if you want, but you'll pay the same price that you would pay if you got a lower rate with USAA. The fact of the matter is this boils down to value. You wouldn't drive a Porsche and expect the same results when you drove a Honda Accord. So that
So
being
what can I
said,
expect? What can I expect then with you as my Porsche?
me as your Porsche means a smooth process. We identify what we need up front. I can get your COE in a matter of minutes as long as it's available online. If not, guess what? I know where to go to get it.
What's the COE?
Certificate of eligibility. And I knew you were going to ask me
Oh,
that because you
I
always
remember that
preach.
from the first one, but I
Right.
don't think I have that yet.
Okay, and that's fine because I can get it in a matter of seconds. Literally, while I'm talking to you right now, I can pull this
Can
thing.
you get it for
This,
USAA and send it to them for me?
I absolutely can if that's what it takes to make sure that you're served properly. Yes, because I would imagine they probably don't
Should
have
they
that at
have
this
that
time.
already?
They should have that already.
Because I
It
have an
should be
LE in
something.
my hand
Right,
from them.
right. That should be something that
You
they've
see
already
where I'm
got.
going?
Yeah, I know where you're going, but I always try to venture in the fact that they should have their ducks in a row. But let's say they don't. That is something I'll look at. I just want to make sure that you and your family are going to go out and you're going to have the best experience possible.
You know what, Alex? Why don't we do this? Go ahead and I'll give you my information and send me over a breakdown of costs. And I'd like to get with my wife and see because
Okay.
there's a possibility too that I might not even be here very long. I might get transferred in a year or so anyway.
Right.
And I want to make sure I'm in the best mortgage product because we thought about this time maybe going conventional because I don't have any disability, so that funding fee kind of weighing out against conventional. Last time it worked out because we were first time home buyers, but now we both make a lot of money And I'm thinking maybe conventional is probably the way to go for me, especially if I'm going to move in another year or two.
Well, there's a couple things you can look at with you moving. The entitlement that you have may be available if you did decide to make a move. Depending on how long term your move is going to be, you may look at financing the house here using a VA loan and then still having the entitlement to finance a house there.
My entitlement.
Or, correct. So entitlement is it's pretty complex when it comes to breaking down exactly what it is, but basically it's the amount that the government's going to guarantee in case you ever decide to default on the loan. Now, we know that's not going to happen, but programs have rules. They have SOPs just like anything else that you dealt with in the Air Force. And so we follow those programs. Now, you buying a house here doesn't exclude you from buying a house somewhere else, but what it does
I thought
is
I could
reduce
only
the
have
down
one
payment.
at a time.
That's a common myth that people believe, and that's because it's pounded in our head. Let's face it. When you exited the military, they spent, what, a couple hours on mortgages and then moved on to all other stuff and tried to cram a bunch of things in your head in that TAPS class? Okay. Well, I'm here to educate you.
You know what a TAPS class is, huh?
I do. I have a buddy of mine that's a USMC
Awesome.
veteran that it kind of explained and broke that down to us. So now, that being said, if
Well,
you
you seem to
decide,
know a little bit more than USAA. I'll give you that, Alex.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Hey,
the fact of the matter is
why
that
don't we do that then? Because I like you're proving to me that you're a specialist here, so I at least want to hear what you have to say. But I want to get my wife involved in this, and you know, just so she feels good. I mean, clearly, I already have all the math done, and it's right. But me being a gentleman, want to have her involved in the conversation.
I get it, Jay. Let's get her on the phone.
But we were, she was in the Navy, I was in the Air Force, so she was a doctor, and I was engineering. But we've both been exposed to USAA, from inception. But they certainly
Now, how'd
have
that happen, Jay?
Yeah,
Just out of curiosity, Navy,
Well,
Air
when-
Force. I mean,
Well,
where'd you guys
when
cross
you're
paths
over,
at?
yeah, when you're over in Hawaii, Pearl Harbor and Hickam Air Force Base are literally right next to each other, so
Gotcha.
you tend to go to
Gotcha.
the same cow halls and clubs and stuff like that.
So now you're already in Hawaii, so where'd the honeymoon go then? Because you don't have much
Yeah.
better than Hawaii at that point. See, now
Well,
all I'm
when you're
doing here is going
stationed
to build
there,
a
it's not
rapport
bad.
with you. Yeah, all I'm going to do now is start to build a rapport. This way you feel like I'm your buddy as opposed to just some guy you're shopping against. And also I'm going to stroke your ego because you're an egotistical person. Being an engineer and being in the Air Force, you
Yeah.
want people to stroke it. So I'm going to make you feel like a fucking $1 million because I'm doing the right thing by you anyways.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to bring, and I was trying to lead you into, was I don't know if you remember when you and I did this in Detroit.
Yep.
And so trying to match up rates with USAA, and if all things are equal, remember I even said that if all things are equal, then what is it that you like about USAA? And so who do you work for here in Detroit? Are you a commercial airline lender or a private airline lender? Now, depending on your market, you're going to know that a little bit more. Now, obviously, we knew that here in Detroit, Coletta Airlines was a private airline, but they relocate people a lot all over the place. And with the relocation, and you say, look, hopefully this never happens again. This is what I was trying to lead you to, was the ability on a VA home loan to actually keep that loan, split entitlement, get another one, plus you'd be able to refinance it in the form of an IRRRL if you could, or if you were upside down at the point of closing, it's an assumable loan, and someone can assume it if another veteran assumes. I was trying to get you down that road to get onto the benefits of it, because when you start getting into math with engineers and analytical people, you're just opening up Pandora's box to get your ass shot off.
They'll destroy you when it comes to numbers.
Right.
Which is why I didn't go deep into entitlement with you.
Right. But the thing with entitlement, when I said what's entitlement, what I was trying to get you to say was like USAA didn't go over that with you. The more and more you can take power away, because he's an educated guy. He likes education and numbers. The more and more you show education, what are you is you're the teacher. You are the teacher. Now you're teaching the student. Now you took him up when he was up here on his fucking pedestal. You just kicked him down because you became his mentor on something he doesn't know about, which means you shifted posture. You're now in charge. And that was the opportunity I was trying to get, is you never want to trash the competition. We all know that. But if you hear those indicators like what's entitlement or where's my COE, when I said I don't have my COE, I was banking you were going to jump on me. You're like, what do you mean? You got an LE in front of you. Why don't you have your COE yet? Like they shouldn't be talking figures to you until they have COE. You know.
Right.
So those are just little things, especially with VA. You know, I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit different, but the principles apply with other products. Is that when you can take the power away from the lack of education that they got from their existing lender and put it in your toolbox, and you're now the teacher, you're going to win every time, regardless of what the figures are, if all figures are equal. Now, if you're just priced out with an engineer, you're just fucked. I don't care who you are.
Right. And with USAA, I would have just said simply, Jay, say it with me, Bohica. Because that's what USAA is about. Yep, bend over, because here it comes
Bend
again.
over, here it comes again.
That's what USAA is sitting
Fist
there
bump
preaching
on the
when they
screen,
see
buddy.
it.
Fist bump. Boom. All right. Good job.
All right, brother.
All right, we've been going for a while, guys. I appreciate your time. You guys want to roll with one more, or you want to?
Hell, I want one more.
Yeah, give Katie one more, because he's a beast.
Give Katie one more. All right, so we're gonna go with. Hey, this is we're gonna give you the tough one, man.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'm the borrower in this case.
All right.
Andrew, I liked you from the get-go. We started working together, and my realtor told me to call you, and I always shop. I shop for my shoes. I shop for my clothes. I shop everything I do. I shop for my cars. And I went down to the local credit union, and we're putting 20% down, and it's just a better deal to go there, man. Our offer's almost accepted, and we're going to go ahead and lock in there. I appreciate your time and appreciate all the hard work, but we just money talks, and we got a better deal on the table, man. I just figured it was the right thing to do to call you.
All right, thanks. Have a great day. Click. No, I'm kidding.
That's true.
No, okay.
Go waste somebody
Listen.
else's time.
Yeah, it's some of them I would do that. $80,000 mobile home, and you found a better deal at ViStar? No, but it's like, okay, so listen. I'm a pretty straight shooting guy, and I'm gonna be really blunt with you. And if you actually do have a better deal, I'm gonna be straightforward and tell you to take it. But do explain, a better deal is a lot of things. Are we talking interest rate? Are we talking cash to close? Where are we at?
Well, I think you told me 4 1/4, and they said 4 1/8. It's a better deal.
Gotcha. Do you know what have you got a loan estimate from them where you actually can see what your cash to close is and what their fees are?
Well, I think they said they were going to send it tonight, but he promised
Gotcha.
me that the fees were pretty low, and they're at 4 1/8, and you're at 4 1/4. So it's just, it's going to save me $15 a month, I think.
Yeah, and listen, $15 a month is a lot of money. The reality is that's probably more than I spend on Starbucks in a day. Let me just clarify something for you. Rates and fees go hand in hand. Just because I quoted you a 4.25 and they quoted you a 4.125 doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a better deal. You really do need to get in writing a loan estimate, and if it's truly where you say it is, I would request them that they lock your interest rate immediately. Because if you have a loan estimate in hand and there's no buffered fees, they're not charging you a 0.5 point, 1/4 point, 1/8 point to get to that rate, then you might end up with a better situation. But let me ask you a real quick question. You said you shop. You said you shop a lot. What's your preferred grocery store?
Well, we go to Aldi usually.
You go to Aldi. Gotcha. Okay. Listen, Aldi's a great place. I shop at Walmart. I'm a big Walmart guy. That's like my thing. But I was at Dollar General or Dollar Tree the other night with my kids, which they drugged me in there. I don't know why I ended up going with them. And I was walking back against the back wall, and I noticed this freezer up against the wall, and it had dollar steaks inside of it. And I just kind of stood there and I marveled for a second, and I actually thought, man, I'm going to use this as an analogy. So I'm sorry, but you're going to be the one that gets it. But I stood there and I thought, this reminds me a lot of the mortgage industry. Yes, in theory, it's a steak. A steak is a steak. But I would be so much happier with a steak that came from Whole Foods versus Walmart. But I would never subject my family to buying a steak at a Dollar Tree. For me, that just seems something wrong. And I'm just asking you straight up, this is potentially the largest financial purchase of your lifetime. And are you willing to trust this to someone that's likely only been doing mortgages for a matter of months and is probably being paid $12 an hour to sit in a cubicle? And at 5 p.m. on a Friday, they're gone. There's no questions being answered. There's no pre-qualification letters being sent on the weekend. There's no questions being answered at 9 o'clock at night. Are you really willing to trust the biggest purchase transaction of your lifetime to someone who really doesn't understand the process and is ultimately selling you steaks out of a Dollar Tree freezer?
Well, I don't know. It sounds like there's no other offers on that house, and it sounds like they'll probably take our deal, and maybe I can save a few $100. I don't know.
So you're saying in a $250,000 purchase, $250,000 being put on the line, that the difference of $300 to $400 is completely going to make you leave a lender that has nothing but 5-star reviews, that has specialized training in the loan programs you're buying, that's available up until 9 p.m. nightly and weekends, can guarantee a close time in less than half the time that 5-star Credit Union's giving you. You're saying that $300 to $400 in the scheme of $250,000 being borrowed is worthwhile for you to choose the lender that doesn't come with any of those added benefits I just said. Is that what I'm gathering?
Well, I don't think I said that. I think you said that, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't really seen their numbers, and I haven't really seen your numbers, I guess. I mean, a lot of people they say it's a better deal, and then, the numbers don't come. I guess what should I do? I haven't really seen numbers.
Tell you what, here's what you do, is call your credit union back and ask them that you'd like to have a loan estimate. And don't call it a GFE. If you call it a GFE, they're going to know you're unknowledgeable in the process. Tell them that you're looking to get a loan estimate in your inbox immediately. When they send you that loan estimate, forward it over to me. And I will compare apples to apples with what my best foot forward is. And the reality is if we're talking $100, $200, $300 in difference, I know I'm the best choice for the program, and I know that my service level is going to warrant what I bring. I sleep very, very, very well at night knowing that I'm not the low price leader because of the service level I provide my clients. So let's compare apples to apples. At this point, we don't have anything in writing, and so all it is pie in the sky and a bunch of verbal. I'll send you a loan estimate, have your other lender send a loan estimate, share them with me. I'll sit down, let's go line item by line item, and look at what you're actually getting from them versus getting from me. And at the end of the day, if their deal is substantially better than mine, I'm going to be a big enough man to look you in the face and say, take their deal, it's better.
That's
fair
cool.
enough?
That's fair. That's
okay.
Fair.
Can you get the loan estimate tomorrow, and can we meet about 4:30 tomorrow afternoon at my office?
Well, I'll try to get it to you in the morning, and yeah, I'll have to follow up with you in the morning about meeting. But either way, I'll call him right now. We'll see what time we can do it tomorrow.
Perfect. Well, just keep in mind, if it works better for you to meet after hours, I do keep myself available. So if you need to meet 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'll drop what I'm doing, run down to the local Starbucks by my house, sit down, go over it line by line with you. I want to make sure that you're comfortable in this transaction. After all, it is your money you're spending, and I want you to spend it how you want to spend it, but I do want to help you provide some clarity to the situation.
Cool.
How bad did I screw that one up?
You did fine, dude. You gotta hammer those people down and hit them a few more times. I mean, basically.
Dude, I'm so.
You're fine.
I literally just dealt with one of those this morning and about drove me insane.
It happens.
Well, I have 6 loan estimates in my inbox right now, and just want to know what you can provide me.
Right. What can you give me? What can you do for me? I'm with you, Andrew. I tell those people to fuck off, and here's why. I have enough business where I'm not going to waste my time doing business with somebody who doesn't want to do business with me. Either you come to me because we provide a service that is superior to others, or you go somewhere else. And if you want to fucking rate shop, or you want to sit there and chop my head off over a couple $100, I'm out. It's not worth the stress.
I agree with you. I'm at the point where I'll fight to get the deal. But if I'm under contract and a buyer wants to slit my throat over an 8% over $500 origination fee difference, they'll call me and they're like, hey, we got a better deal. And I will not even let them finish a sentence. I'm like, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best. When that other lender messes up, please just understand I'm going to be available for you. Thanks for your time. Wish you the best. Click. Right, and I move on with my day. I'm so not fighting for people that want to slit my throat over a $300 fee.
No, it's not going to happen. It's a waste of time, waste of energy.
And it's what they call in the real estate world, they call it commission breath. And buyers can tell when you have it. When you have commission breath, when their deal is one of 4 in your pipeline, and they can tell that you're starving and you need that deal, it puts you at a severe disadvantage. I think just having the confidence of knowing you have 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30 loans in your pipeline, and that $200,000 deal wants to be really, really picky, you're just like, hey, wish you the best, man. Take care. Adios.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
It
no
puts you
reason.
in the driver's seat.
Well, and as a professional standpoint, you know this because you're a high producer. Just keep your pipeline full. That's all you got to do. You never have to worry about losing a deal as long as you always have deals that you're working on getting. It's always filling up your pipeline, doing the business. This way you can lead and sell with confidence and then move on and move forward. So, and that's the biggest thing for those of you that are watching. If you have a full pipeline and somebody comes to you with an objection that you just don't want to deal with, just move on. I don't do loans under a certain loan amount because I've found that they could be difficult at times, and it's just not my arena. I'm not competitive on those, so I just don't do them. It's a preference more than anything. It's not saying that I won't do them, but that's not what I try to attract. I try to attract my veterans and work with those guys.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And if I could leave one takeaway, I think confidence almost to the level of arrogance
Yes.
is what is needed in this industry. I have come off extremely arrogant to big name real estate agents, and I've lost a couple that will not, they call me arrogant and they won't deal with me. But for every one that I lose because of that, I'm going to pick up 2 or 3 because they love dealing with someone that is extremely confident in their business skills. And I've got no bones about it. I mean, I look at them and just say, guys, at the end of the day, I'm the absolute best lender in my city, hands down, and I'm unashamed to tell you that. And one of them's like, oh, that's cocky. And I'm like, yeah, it absolutely is cocky. And my reviews and my pipeline stacks up against it.
Well, and how's those paychecks look when you put them in the bank? Don't give a shit how cocky I am. Can I put a paycheck in your bank account? Because we're in this for the business.
I can put your paycheck in your pocket faster than any other lender in the city.
Right. So
I love looking at realtors and saying, here's the deal. How many loans did your preferred lender deny last year?
Right.
And let them answer. And I just look at them and say, that's interesting. Last year I closed 121 homes and I didn't have a single denial. Every single borrower that I said I'll do the loan on it, I closed it. I didn't have a single denial all year. Now, for me, that's paychecks in your pockets. That's 121 real estate agents that have paychecks in their pockets because I'm damn good at what I do.
Right. Exactly.
And man, that confidence is king. And if you don't have a big pipeline, you better act like it. I mean, I was out telling the damn Carrie Underwood story to real estate agents before I had closed a single transaction. I had never done a mortgage before, and I was pitching my Carrie Underwood speech to 200-300 real estate agents over the course of 3 months.
Right. Well, and the big thing is, like you said, boiler room takes that specific point. Act as if you have a 9-inch dick. Is the exact term that they use in the movie, but I'm not acting. Anyways, the fact of the matter is, if you're a specialist, be one. Act like one. Do what you got to do. Don't sell out of fear. Don't sell out of being desperate for something. And put in the work. Fill up that pipeline. If you're struggling and you've got deals, and you're hitting a lot of resistance, fill up your pipeline. That used to be my boss used to always say that. You sad, your girlfriend broke up with you, your dog ran away, get a new loan, get another deal. Everything goes away, and same with clients that are just going to drag you along in the fields. Just fucking get another deal, turn them down, move on.
And to a certain extent, you almost have to turn away business even when your pipeline is small to get yourself mentally to a place. Like I find myself, if my pipeline drops below 8 to 10 loans, I take on a bunch of shit business.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little bit desperate.
Right.
And for me, training myself to continually turn that business away and say, no, I'm not a renovation lender. I'm not a down payment assistance lender. No, I have loan partners that can handle that stuff, and not taking it on. It'll keep my pipeline a little bit smaller for a little bit longer, but it'll ultimately allow me to build a bigger pipeline of the loans I want, and to keep that pipeline going than bogging myself in the mire of a bunch of $80,000 mobile homes.
Yeah, and it's about what you're good at, what you attract. You get into those $80,000 mobile homes, suddenly you're the specialist on that, and suddenly that's all you have a pipeline full of. It's not turning down business for the simple fact of just saying, hey, I don't want it. It's just turning it down because you're not the best, and you're not going to be the best person to work with on that transaction. It's like being a mechanic. Everybody can change oil that is a mechanic, but can everybody efficiently change oil on a Ford F-150? And the fact of the matter is the Ford dealer is the best one at doing it. When they're underneath the car, they can see if that rack and pinion's leaking because they've seen 1,000 of them, you know.
Right.
And that's why I stick to
There's
veterans.
riches and niches, baby.
Yep.
Dig it.
Exactly.
There's
I'll dig it,
riches
guys.
and niches.
Cool. All right, we've been on a long time. I want to do just 2 more minutes if you guys can. I want one of you to be a customer, and I'm going to be the LO, and you guys are shopping a little bit, and you're kind of confident with your bank, but it's not really a local bank, and I'm the lender. Okay? So who wants to be the customer? Either one of you.
All right, I got you. Now, what I do business with the local bank.
Whoever you do, they're not the person referred by a realtor. That's what's important.
Oh, they're not referred by a realtor. Gotcha.
Yeah, you're already supposedly set. The realtor told me to call you. We were talking, but you're probably going to go the other person.
You know, Fish, here's the thing. I've done a lot of business with Bill over there at Wells Fargo. That's who I'm going to go with. You know, he's always treated me good. He knows my name when I walk in. He knows my name when I walk out. He knows my account number. I ain't got to mess with him. He's already got my information, for God's sake. So I'm just going to deal with Bill. I appreciate your efforts, man. I wish the best of luck to you.
Totally appreciate that, Alex. I definitely appreciate loyalty. In fact, I used to work at Wells Fargo a long time ago. You know, I know they've got a lot of systems and structure. They're one of the largest servicers in America. They take care of a lot of folks as far as mortgages go. There's one thing I want to ask you real quick, and I want to point out. How important is it for you to get your dream house under contract and get closed by the end of this summer so that you can get your kids to school on time?
I mean, that's definitely important. Obviously, I don't want my kids missing any school. I mean, hell, I'm moving to that house because that's the best school.
I mean, I know it sounds a little off topic, but there's a reason I'm asking this. Now, Alex, do you know what the inventory is in this current market? Have you been paying attention to how quickly houses are coming off the market, going under contract and closing? It seems like there's a lot of, they could say a seller's market. I mean, there's not a lot of inventory and there's a lot of buyers. Would you agree? Have you heard that from your agent?
Yeah, there's 6 homes for sale in the school district that I want to be in, and out of those 6, 5 of them are existing construction. The one I got my eyes on is a new construction home.
Gotcha. Well, here's what I want to let you know, Alex. The area that you're looking in, the market that you're looking in, the town that you're looking in, has a lot of local folks working in it, local agents, and even local lenders. I'm one of those local folks. Your agent specifically sent me to you, not just to compare rates and fees with Wells Fargo, but because that agent knows that I intentionally network with a lot of the local agents and the local builders, and I have a great reputation for delivering. When it comes down to the final stages of negotiating and putting your offer to the front of the stack, I got to share a secret. Agents, especially the best listing agents in the world, prefer to work with lenders that they know get the job done. Would you think that a local agent that perhaps knows my name and knows the name of the agent that you're working with would prefer to see us working together? Or would they prefer to see, a guy across town that they've never, ever ran into and never heard of?
I mean, definitely. But, Bill's the deacon at our church. I mean, everyone knows Bill. I mean, shit, you probably know Bill. You know Bill?
I know Bill. I know he doesn't work in town, and I know he doesn't network a whole lot with the local people.
No,
Alex,
he doesn't.
What was it? What was it you did for a living again?
I'm a crane operator.
Gotcha. So, if you've got somebody coming in to your crew, and you've got a very, very important job, and it's delicate and it's detailed, and you got somebody coming from the outside to replace your best guy. Are you going to give that guy the most important job on day one, or are you going to test him out a little bit to make sure he knows what he's doing before you put him on the best crane and make sure that he knows what he's doing? You're going to test him a little bit, right?
Well, heck yeah. I mean, it's life or death out there. It's the same thing with this
builder. It's the same thing with that builder. That builder doesn't put up with BS. I can promise you they're going to run you through the ringer a little bit before everything is bottom line. The agent and I know this builder very well. We are going to work hard to make sure that they understand how well qualified you are, and they're going to put you to the front of the stack and probably negotiate you a better deal and get you closed quicker. That part of the process, it can be hard to measure, but there's a specific reason that your agent connected you with me, and it's part of it is helping you get your deal accepted on time and get you closed on time. All things being equal, I'm pretty sure that Bill and I can match rates and fees, but there's an intangible behind that, and that's us working as a team to make sure your offer gets accepted. If you don't decide to buy that new build, I can promise you that something with my name and my logo on it in the town that you're shopping in, it's called Southline, Michigan or Nashville, is going to rise to the top because I have a very strong network of agents. I pretty much know somebody that's connected to somebody in every part of the town. And if you'd like, we can talk about exactly how I will help you present your best offer to the agent. Now, you're using FHA financing, is that correct?
Yeah, the 3.5%
Right.
rate or down or something like that. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
probably-
Bill explained that to me. You know me.
Yeah.
I pick stuff up, put stuff down.
Right. Now, you probably heard that some folks like conventional offers better than FHA, right?
Yeah, but there's, I don't know, man. You're asking me details. I don't know.
I know, it's cool,
yeah.
man. I understand. So here's what we're going to do. When I find out which house you're going to offer on, I'm going to walk through the exact scripts and the exact relationships that I have with those other agents and with those lenders so that you know exactly how I'm helping you get the offer accepted. If I can work with your agent to help get that offer accepted, would you give me a fair chance at earning the business for going out of my way to make sure your family can close on their house on time? Would that be fair?
I mean, that's fair enough. The biggest thing, Michael, here about 9 years ago, I used to be a loan officer, so I could spot bullshit from a mile away. So as long as you shoot me straight, I'm okay with listening. But, at the end of the day, Bill. So, but yeah, I'll listen to you, Michael.
You're good buddies with Bill, but like you said, that you're mentioning the builder at Quezon Homes. I just closed one with them a couple months ago. I happen to know Joe, the rep over there, and I know
I'm
that
buying a home from Old South. I think you got the wrong Alex.
All right, so you can throw these references. Anyways, you guys get where I'm going with that. Trying to use connections, trying to use the negotiation angle, trying to explain, what's going on with the offers. It works better sometimes with veterans than it does with the FHA guy, but.
And if you're down here in the Bible Belt and I say Bill's the deacon at my church, you ain't getting shit.
Yeah, thanks. That was
Exactly.
curveball.
You're done. Hang up.
Right.
Hang the phone up right now. It's over.
Did you read the paper? Did you see Bill just got arrested?
Drug charges. They found
Was it
coke in his
something
car.
involving the church?
Right.
Right, well,
He got
thanks,
caught.
Alex. I appreciate
Never
it,
mind.
Anyways.
Oh man.
All right, guys.
Always a good time.
It's been
looking
about
forward
hours, so let's let these guys get back to their day and write some loans.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all.
Peace out,
See you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank
Adios.
you.